Yay, good evening, folks. Ken Hovind here in the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland in Lenox, Alabama, August 25th, 2021. We made it. Folks, the world's coming unglued. Anybody watching the news and see what all's happening? It's coming unglued. Watch what happened in Ukraine back, 80 years ago. They burned all the crops. Ukraine was the breadbasket of Europe, and they starved the people out. Yeah, happening in America. You watch. Okay. Anyway, we at Dinosaur Adventureland believe the Bible is true, and God made everything in 6 literal days, just like he said he did in chapter 20. So tonight, Whack an Atheist Wednesday. Somebody made this clip for me. It's a joke, guys. Okay, it's like the game Whack-A-Mole. You stick your head up, say something dumb. We have to whack it back down. That's all there is to it. Okay. We believe dinosaurs lived with man, and evolution is the dumbest and most dangerous religious cult in the history of the world. Come visit our Dinosaur Adventureland 1 mile north of downtown Lenox. Hey, brother, I got the new clip in here. Where'd he go? With the drone. Are you ready for this? Watch this. Come visit our Science Center, 12,000 square feet of cool stuff on science in the Bible, and we don't even use government funding to do it. Bet you atheists couldn't do that, could you? Yeah, no, you couldn't do that. Okay, we've had visitors from all over the place, including tonight. Let's see, from Utah, Gilbert, Bella, Grandma, and Aaron, 5 months old. How did you guys hear about us, Gilbert?
When I got saved in 2012.
You got saved, and
the person I was living with gave me your videos.
And the one you were living with gave you my videos? Yes. Awesome. How long ago was that?
2012.
2012. Amen. Long time ago. Glad you came. And Grandma and back there and the baby. Okay. Let's see. And from California, Casey, how did you hear about our place?
Well, the YouTube channel for this place specific. But your creation seminars at least a decade ago.
The seminar video series a decade ago. These things go all over the place. That's what we want. Make copies, give them to your friends, give them to your enemies. Yeah. And they'll really hate you. Okay. How'd you kids like the tour today?
Great.
You took the real tour, right?
Yeah, we did.
And did you get like any wet or muddy or?
All of the above.
All of the above. Come on now. KC 2.0. You're what, 12, 14?
12. I mean, no, what's
14. Okay. It's confusing. I know it's tough keeping up. All right. Come join us this November 24th for our Bible Believers Baptist Big Bang Blowout. And we're going to have a debate. Ken Hovind versus all the atheists and evolutionists in the world. Same time. I'm just sick of messing with them one at a time, brother. Let's just get it all over with. Okay, come on. Come one, come all. Big debate, November 24th, 7 p.m. right here on our channel. You can come spend Thanksgiving with us. We'll be thankful to the Lord who made you, even though you don't recognize him. That's okay. If evolution is such an obvious truth, prove it. Bring the evidence there. All atheists will present the very best 3 lines of evidence. And just like Elijah did on Mount Carmel, you can read the story in 1 Kings chapter 18. Let's see, they danced around the fire. Let me pass through all this to save time here tonight. So November 24th, the day before Thanksgiving, is also the anniversary of Darwin's book coming out. Changed the world for the worse. Destroyed common sense when it comes to science. Science used to deal with things we can observe, study, test, and demonstrate. Now it deals with imagination like SpongeBob. Okay, let's see. It's the day before Thanksgiving, and it's Whack an Atheist Wednesday. So come on down, and let's see. You can get one of our cabins. Everything's free. We'll house you, feed you. No alcohol on the property. No cursing on the property. And come on, and no fornicating on the property. Okay, if you're not married, you can't stay together. But come on down. We'll have a debate with all of you at the same time. Come tour the Science Center. Hopefully the new church will be done. Tim and his crew from Mississippi coming next Friday to do the floor in there, which means we got to get the floor cleared out because it's got a bunch of stuff in there, which means a bunch of dominoes got to fall. So help me out, please, on that. Okay. Help us stay open for free. Go to drdino.com. Make any checks to CSE. Okay, tonight, Whack an Atheist Wednesday, where we normally wear red just to... I have to use my red shirts once in a while out of my closet. Some lady gave me 50 Hawaiian shirts she got for $1 a piece. My whole wardrobe, $12.50. That's right up my alley as far as price-wise, brother. Okay, we've been looking for one functioning brain cell on those who believe there's no God. Can't find any. Whack an atheist is fun. It's easy. It's quick. It's addictive. Kids can learn how to do it, and we're doing it because we love you. Really, it's right. We're trying to push you out of the way of a speeding car. Okay, we're doing this for your own good. Stop and think. You believe you came from a rock? Stop and think, man. Okay, to all you atheists out there, we use this simple whack is for you. We at CSC are really trying to get you saved and see the folly of your way, and we want you someday to join us in heaven. Trying to whack you before it's too late. You really believe? People really believe some weird things. Michael Shermer, I debated him, I know once, maybe twice. He believes some weird things. He believes in evolution. That's a weird thing. Michael, come on, anytime. Let's do it again, okay? 10 stupid things people believed as a kid. I thought grandma's skin was made out of tortillas. This one kid said. I thought fire ants actually started fires. If you flushed while sitting, you would get sucked in. Oh, yeah, okay. What's the dumbest thing you believe? Well, Professor Dave, you get the prize again tonight. I can't believe you. Now, Dave, listen, you really are an incredibly excellent teacher when it comes to lots of things, like real science, like chemistry and physics. You're an incredible teacher. You got a great skill. God's gifted you. But you are dead wrong when it comes to evolution. Dead wrong, and we're going to work on that tonight. Speciation is an observable fact. Dave, the Bible says 20 times in the first 7 chapters, they will bring forth after their kind. After their kind. After their kind. Oh, hang on. Right there. After their kind. 20 times in the first 7 chapters. So, Professor Dave, speciation is an observable fact. But it doesn't go any further than that. They're still the same kind. They make these lines on paper and connect them all like that. It's wild imagination, folks. These charts do not exist. It's true things change over time, but the changes are limited. They say there's no doubt living things have changed over time. Oh, okay, I agree with that. Living things. There are actually 4 stages of evolution they're embarrassed about and skipping over. Cosmic evolution, where did time, space, matter come from? Chemical evolution, how did we get all 92 elements, plus the synthetic ones? Stellar evolution, how did the stars and planets form? There's not even a good theory on that. How about life getting started from a rock? There's no theory on that, no good theory on that. Macro and micro. Okay, we'll talk about those. And these first 4, actually, first 5, completely religious. You believe in them. Often microevolution can lead to macroevolution, they said. I downloaded it 20 minutes ago. As changes become more pronounced and 2 distinct species emerge. Wait. Brightstorm.com. I agree, speciation can happen because we are deciding when it's a new species. It's still the same kind. A 4-year-old will tell you that. Okay, let's see. What is the evidence for macroevolution? Evidence for macroevolution is based on indirect evidence, such as interpretation of the fossil record. Guys, stop. There is no fossil record. There is no fossil record. There are fossils, bazillions of fossils, but there's not a record. They don't have a date on them. They don't talk. When you find the petrified clams closed, it doesn't tell you when it lived or when it died. Hang on. No, it doesn't know. Doesn't know. It had to be buried quickly to be in the closed position. They find these on top of Mount Everest. I cover all that on video 6 of my series. So yes, there is no such thing as a fossil record. Homology or similar structures is evidence for evolution. Okay, I'm going to let Dave talk for himself here and see what you think.
Professor Dave again. Let's examine the evolution of populations. He knows a lot about the science stuff. Professor Dave explains. With the origin of species, Darwin transformed science.
He sure did, for the worse. Did nothing to advance science with his dumb theory. Now everybody's got to bow down and kiss Darwin's book before they can get promoted.
And provided a mountain of evidence for the evolution of life.
He did not provide any evidence for the evolution of life. He showed what everybody has shown ever since then, 162 years now. Variations happen within the same kind. Dave, he didn't, and you got a whole bunch of people are watching you, Dave. Listen, you're going to be accountable to God for leading people off track, away from God. I'm the best friend you got, and you don't even know it. I want to help. I pray for you. I really do.
By natural selection. But there were also holes in the evidence, which have since been filled in many times over. Let's go over a quick summary of the main types of data that illustrate how evolution happens. The first of these types involves direct observation. As we discussed in the previous clip, even though we didn't watch animals evolve, we can easily watch simple unicellular organisms evolve. In fact, whenever we try to use drugs to kill pathogens, like certain bacteria, it is inevitable that a drug-resistant strain evolves and proliferates quickly as it is immune to the drug. The resistance is not a product of evolution. This comes about by blind chance, but the proliferation of the resistance is indeed a product of natural selection, as the lone resistant bacterium won't be killed by the drug, while the other bacteria will. So eventually, all the bacteria in that vicinity will be descendants of the initial mutant, and thus also resistant to the drug.
Very true. What is it, Dave? It is still a bacteria, correct? If we went through the population and killed everybody under 6 feet tall, kill them all, and then only those over 6 feet tall get to have babies. You do that about 10 times, and after a period of maybe 500 years, everybody's over 6 feet tall. You didn't create anybody. You selected a slice of the gene code that already existed. There are already people over 6 feet tall, like me, okay? That doesn't create anything, Dave. It's a selection of a pre-existing condition or gene. These bacteria already had the gene, already had the gene to be resistant to that antibiotic or whatever they're putting on there. It didn't change anything. This is not evolution, Dave. I wish you guys could see that. This is natural selection, which works fine, but it can only select. What if I said, we're going to kill everybody under 20 feet tall? Now, could we evolve a population of people over 20 feet? No, because nobody's over 20 feet tall. You don't get it. You just willingly ignorant, like the Bible says. Let's go on here.
We can even watch adaptation occur with short-lived animals like bugs. When certain insects have their food sources modified, their appendages do indeed change over a number of generations to better suit their surroundings.
And they stay a bug, Dave. They are still a bug. They started a bug, they ended up bug. That's it.
We have even discovered strains of bacteria capable of metabolizing nylon, which was invented by humans in the 20th century. Thus, evolution by natural selection is not relegated to conjecture.
Okay, I'm going to have to weigh in a little bit on this here, Dave. Let's see. Evidence for change in species. Let me get up here to where I want to go. Right here. Variations happen, but they have limits. Let me get up to where Dave's slides are. I should have had this one. Right here. Okay. Evidence for evolution, Dave's video that he did from biogeography. Dave, do you really think South America and Africa used to fit together? Just because of the shapes of the continents? You need to watch my video number 7 about Pangea. In order to make South America and Africa fit, they shrank Africa, I think, 40% to make them fit for this drawing, okay? Plus, I think you would notice, you can't see it there. If you took the water out of the ocean, you will probably notice there is dirt under there. The oceans actually have a bottom. Anybody know that before? Yeah. People say, do you think the continents were ever connected? I say, what do you mean? They're still connected right now. Aren't they? I mean, if you had a really long pair of stilts, you could walk over to Africa, couldn't you? Be a little tough, but. And then you said evidence for evolution, direct observation from some bacteria have evolved to be able to metabolize recently man-made materials like bacterium. Well, now hold on, Dan. Nylon, invented in the 1930s, plastic material composed of polemides of high molecular weight and usually, but not always, manufactured as a fiber, developed in the 1930s. Let's see. Essentially, nylon is a type of plastic derived from crude oil. Is crude oil a natural product occurring in the ground? Probably from Noah's flood, okay? Let's see. This bacteria you're talking about, K172, known as the nylon-eating bacteria, is a strain of whatever that name is that can digest certain byproducts of nylon-6 manufacture. Oh. This K172 is considered NCBI database and gene taxonomy database as a member of the. Dave, it's still a bacteria. You think that example is going to demonstrate how bacteria turn to whales and elephants? You really believe that? Then you said evolution can be directly observed. We'll see. Okay, hang on right here.
It can be observed right before our very eyes. Another source of evidence for evolution is in the homology that exists between species.
This is evidence of a common ancestor because the bone structures look similar. Well, now let's see. Let's go to seminar part 4, slide number 1468. Alt-DV 1468. It would help, Dave, if you just watch my seminar. Let's see. Homologous structures is supposed to be evidence for evolution. The fact that the structures look the same. Really? Oh, hang on. Homologous structure is an example of an organ or bone that appears in different animals, underlying anatomical commonalities. We got 2 arms. The bird has 2 wings. That's proof of something to somebody somewhere. Demonstrating descent from a common ancestor. You guys have got to be kidding. Don't you think it maybe could determine or demonstrate a common creator? Or maybe it's a good design. How many of you like having 2 arms? Yeah. Okay. In other words, when it's very different, how many of you ever wished you had 3? Wouldn't that be nice? Sometimes, yeah. Hold 2 sacks of groceries and open the door. Yeah, okay. In other words, it's very different. Animals have bones that appear very similar in form. They seem to be related. You guys got to be kidding. This is demonstration of a common designer. It's a cool design. It works. Homologies. In the following photo of plants, the leaves are quite different from the normal leaves we envision. The pitcher plant has a leaf that closes the lid to keep the bug in there. Pretty cool. The Venus flytrap has a leaf that acts like jaws to catch the fly. Boy, am I glad for that, okay? The poinsettia, bright red leaves resemble flower petals. The cactus has leaves that have become spines. No, guys. The cactus have spines that have stayed spines. Always. You know, when cactus have babies, guess what they grow up to be? Bananas. Whales. Yep. Evolutionary theory predicts that related organisms will share similarities that are derived from common ancestors. Evolutionary theory fails on this one miserably. Every one of these features is designed, and it's in the gene code to produce babies that are just like it. Always has, always will. Homologies. Homologies can be revealed by comparing the anatomy of different living things, looking at cellular similarities and differences, studying embryological development. You guys got to be kidding. You're still teaching that? Proven wrong in 1875? Still teaching that? Yeah, they're still teaching that. Take a look in the biology books right here beside me, okay? Studying vestigial structures within individual organisms. Evolution, evidence of evolution, homology, the crocoduck. Half crocodile, half duck. I bet he'd be pretty tough out there in the lake, wouldn't he? He could take care of himself. You see the duck we had with somebody who took the big bite out of it. I guess a big snapping turtle took a bite out of or something in the lake. Let's turn crocoduck loose in there. Hey, snapping turtle, come on, baby, okay? What observable evidence exists to support the idea that life on Earth has evolved its diversity through a long process of descent with modification? One of the most powerful forms of evidence is homology, they said at Miami University. Come on, guys. It's true. Many animals have a similar 4-limb structure, 2 bones in the wrist, 1 in the arm. That allows all kinds of cool movements, right? You can do all kinds of cool movements with your hand and arm and move it around. If you only had 1 bone or 1 bone here and 1 bone here, it would limit things. Pretty cool design. These homologous structures provide evidence that these animals evolved from a common ancestor. No, they do not. They're amazing design. The 4 limbs of the crocodile, the whale, and birds are homologous structures. They're okay. It says they've been modified. Look at this. They are modified for their function. No, guys, they are created. They're designed. It's in the gene code to make it exactly like that for many generations to come. Homologous structures is in all the textbooks as if it's evidence for evolution. They descended from a common ancestor. This is what the kids are taught. Dave, this is what you were taught, and you swallowed it. You are a genius teacher on many subjects. You don't get it. You got brainwashed on this one, or somebody's financing you to teach this one, and you don't get it, Dave. This is not evidence for evolution. Every time whales have babies, they turn out to be whale. A seal's flipper and a human arm have very different functions. I agree. What evidence might help to show that the both structures evolved from the 4-limb of a common ancestor? How's a kid supposed to answer that question? I forgot to put hairspray on. I'm sorry. How's a kid supposed to answer that question on a test if he doesn't believe in evolution? This is not thinking critically. This is being brainwashed. The kid doesn't even realize he's been brainwashed. They get him, man. Commonalities suggest they are all related. They probably evolved from a common ancestor. Come on. This is called baloney. This is malarkey, all right? The bones develop from different genes in different organisms. Evolutionists cannot explain this, and they seldom discuss it. The radius and the ulna in the bat are a different part of the gene than the radius and the ulna developing in other creatures. Huh? Why, guys? The basic structure of the penductal limb. Yep, I agree. We got similar. The mole and the dolphin and the bat and the human have similar structures. Yep, I agree. That's proof for evolution. In your mind, that's all you need, isn't it? The humerus, the radius, I agree. Similar design might prove the same designer made them. Did you know the Pontiac lug nuts will fit on a Chevy? Yeah, go try it. They will. That proves they both evolved from a Toyota or a skateboard. I'm sorry, skateboard, yeah. Right. Many animals have a similar forelimb structure. They must have had a common ancestor. Oh, the first one's a good observation. Second one's a bad conclusion. And this helps prove we came from a rock. Now that's a real bad conclusion. Then they say we have an appendix that is a vestigial structure. Dave's going to talk about vestigial structures here. Which one is Dave? How do I do this? Right there? Did I get him?
Homology is a word that refers to structural similarities in certain species as a result of common ancestry.
No, Dave, as a result of an amazing designer. Why can't you praise God for his? Sometimes you look at the wrist and say, whoa, God, you are so smart. Can't you do that, Dave? Why not? Can't you look at the stars and say, wow, what a mighty God we serve? I don't have a problem humbling myself before a God like that. That's the problem, humility. Anyway, go ahead, Dave.
We can look at the arms and legs of humans and any other mammal, even whales and bats, and see that they have remarkably similar bone arrangements.
I agree. Good observation. What does it prove, Dave? This is where you go from science to religion and don't even realize it. You don't even see it.
Even though one is used to walk, one to swim, and one to fly. These homologous structures are completely consistent with the idea of a common ancestry for all mammals.
They're also completely consistent with the idea of a common creator. Dave?
We can look at embryos to find other examples of homology. All vertebrates, including humans, have a small tail early in embryonic development. This is easily explained by considering that all vertebrates have a common ancestor.
Dave, you are way behind on your science here. Let me get to seminar part 4. Hang on. Right here. And I have to go. Oh, I got too many slides. Let's see. Vestigial structures. Vestigial structures. Let's get to the right one here. Oh, right. I guess I'll go to this one. Okay. Slide number, well, right there. Let's see. It's not showing up on screen. Oh, I got to do something. I got too many buttons over here to push. Let's see. That one? No. How about that one? Well, they're showing up on my screen. Embryology, slide number 843. When I get to the right one, seminar part 4, Alt DV, 8, what did I say, 41? 43. Embryology, gills like a fish. This is what they're saying. We have a tail and gills, so we came from a fish. This is proven wrong in 1874, Dave, okay? 1874. Get up to date. They say we have evidence from development. The similarity between early stages in development helped convince Darwin that all forms of life shared common ancestors. I see. Darwin considered this by far the strongest single class of facts in favor of his theory. Ernst Haeckel called it the biogenetic law. Bunch of baloney. Haeckel made up the phrase, ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. Fancy phrase, which means the way the baby grows in the mother recapitulates the theory of evolution. Starts off like a fish, amphibian, reptile, mammal. Just memorize the word farm. F-A-R-M, fish, amphibian, reptile, mammal. Who cares? The presence of fish-like structures in embryos shows these animals have evolved from fish, and share the basic pattern of fish development. It's as if the embryo retains a memory of its origin. I see. So the embryo retains a memory of how it started off as a fish. Okay. Sick mind Freud made up this idea. He relied heavily on this to his whole theory of mental insanity. Okay, let's see. Those are not gills like a fish. This is a lie. Those little bones in the folds of skin develop into bones in the ear and glands in the throat. They never have anything to do with breathing. They're not gill slits, okay? I've seen fat folks with 5 or 6 chins who can't breathe through any of them but the top one, okay? Those are not gill ports on the Buick Roadmaster. They can't develop into a fish from that. Haeckel read Darwin's book, and the turning point in his thinking changed his mind. I want my DVD series to change people's minds. I want you to say, wow, the Bible's true. I've spent my whole life trying to do this, change people's minds and hearts to say, wow, the Bible's true. And Dave, you're spending your whole life trying to change people to doubting God and doubting his word and believing they came from a fish. Stop and think. Where's my hammer? Here we go. Dave, SpongeBob, you imagine. It's sad that you teach it. 1868, many evolutionists were worried about the lack of evidence for Darwin's theory. Darwin's book came out. Nobody found any evidence for it. Wow, 9 years. Where's the evidence? Let's make some up. Haeckel made some up. His fraud began in 1868 with his drawing of a family tree for mankind. He was worried about the gap between non-living and living, which is still a giant gap. So he made up an organism called a Monera, which never existed. 1869, Huxley claimed to have discovered these organisms in ocean mud samples. He named them Bathybius haeckeli in honor of Haeckel. 1875, a chemist said, hey guys, that's just calcium sulfate. Sorry, not half-living organism. Haeckel refused to admit his fraud and reprinted the Monera drawings in his book. Dave, you better admit your fraud about this gill slits and tail on the human embryo. Haeckel's fraud continued with his attempt to prove the only difference between man and ape is that man can speak. He made up a character called the speechless ape man, Pithecanthropus alalis. Can't talk. A lot of women would like one of those, wouldn't they? He went so far as to have artist Gabriel Marx draw the made-up creature. This is when they found made-up, no bones at all, no fossils. He reached an all-time low, presenting his biogenetic law, known as the law of recapitulation. Haeckel taught that each animal retraces the stages of evolution in its embryonic development. Dave, this is what you're teaching. You fell for Haeckel's lies, didn't you? He took a drawing of a dog embryo and a human embryo at 4 weeks. He changed them and faked them. He made them look alike. On top are what they actually look like. Underneath is his fake drawings. Haeckel then proceeded to make charts of all kinds of different animals going through the stages of evolution. Now, on top are Haeckel's drawings. On the bottom are actual photographs. I would say he's either a real lousy artist or he's a liar. Well, history tells us he was a really good artist, but he was a liar. He went to court. His own university had a trial. 6 other professors said, Haeckel, you're lying. He confessed. He said, a small percentage of my drawings are forgeries. Those, namely, for which the observed material is so incomplete to fill in reconstruct the missing links by hypothesis and comparative synthesis, called guesswork. He said, I should feel utterly condemned were it not that hundreds of the best observers and biologists lie under the same charge. Oh, everybody else lies, so you can lie too, right, Ernest? Yeah. Despite its status as a fake, Darwin continued to use the biogenetic law as the most important evidence of common descent. And Dave, you are still using it in your evidence for evolution. Stop. The human embryo itself at a very early period can hardly be distinguished from that of other members of the vertebrate kingdom, Darwin said in his second book that he wrote. All these frauds were brought to the public attention in 1911 in a book called Haeckel's Frauds and Forgeries. Few people know the pictures were fakes. The deceit was exposed in Haeckel's Frauds and Forgeries, a book by Asmuth and Hall. They quoted 19 leading authorities of the day. Anatomist Keeble of Freiburg University said, it clearly appears that Haeckel has in many cases freely invented embryos or reproduced the illustrations given by others in a substantially changed form. Translation, he faked it. It's a sin against scientific truthfulness, I see. Despite its being exposed as a fraud in 1875, people are still using it. Michael Richardson, an embryologist, that's what he teaches, embryology, at St. George Medical School in London, found there was no record that anyone actually checked Haeckel's claims by systematically comparing human and other fetuses during development. He assembled a scientific team that did that, photographing the growing embryos of 39 different species. In 1997, in the London Times, Richardson said, this is one of the worst cases of scientific fraud. It's shocking to find that someone one thought was a great scientist was deliberately misleading. It makes me angry. What he, that's Haeckel, did was to take a human embryo and copy it, pretending that the salamander and the pig and all the others look the same at the same stage of development. They don't. They are fakes. Okay. When we see that, at a certain stage, the embryos of man and ape, the dog, the rabbit, the pig, etc., cannot be distinguished from each other, Ernst Haeckel said. They can't be distinguished. The fact can only be elucidated by assuming a common parentage. Dave, this is exactly what you are doing. Isn't it? Exactly what you're doing, Dave. Haeckel's drawings, the real photographs. The biogenetic law as a proof for evolution is valueless. In 1956, when I was 3 years old, they knew it didn't work. 1969, the year I got saved, they said, moreover, the biogenetic law has become so deeply rooted in biological thought, it cannot be weeded out in spite of having been demonstrated to be wrong. Wow. Department of Biological Sciences at Columbia University admitted it's wrong. Dave, what's keeping you from admitting it? Surely the biogenetic law is dead as a doornail, American scientist back in 1988. Come on, Dave, it's been 32 years. Get up to speed, 33 years. 19th century drawings still appear in the reference books are badly misdrawn. Haeckel confessed to drawing from memory and was convicted of fraud at the University of Jena. The drawings persist. University of West Florida in Pensacola. This is the textbook they used in 1998 when I was down there. Still use Haeckel's chart. The actual fake drawing, still used. 2005, University of North Dakota, still had Haeckel's fake drawings. Icons of Evolution is a great book to show the fake here. So Darwin made up the book in 1859 and said, oh, we're all related. Haeckel faked his drawings 10 years later as evidence. He was convicted of fraud in 1875. That's not true. Well, then why are you guys still using it? Pick something else. It's not true. Okay? It's in all the books. You can take a look. Tim Barra still using it 115 years after it was proven wrong. Kenneth Miller, Catholic biology teacher in New England someplace, I forget, he's still using it as evidence for evolution. He says evolution is as much a fact as gravity. Kenneth, I'll debate you anytime and all your professors at any university. Come on down for Thanksgiving, okay? They still teach this. Presence of gills and tails. Dave, this is exactly what you said. Fish-like structures. Similar humans and fish embryos resemble each other because humans and fish share a common ancestor. Turtles, chickens, and rats look similar during the early stages of development. They have tiny gill slits, tails and gill slits. It's all through the books. This is one of the main evidences for evolution. Dave, you're still teaching it. It's 2021, Dave. Get up to speed, okay? Evolutionary history of embryos is seen in the development of embryos. Gill, in 2004, was part of the SAT test. You had to give an answer proven wrong 100 years ago to get a high score on the SAT. Gill slits. AP biology. You got to believe something stupid to get a high score. Evidence of evolution. Glycobiology, life science, gill slits. They still teach it here. Gill pouches. There it is right there. Embryology, gill pouches and tails. I see. University of Oklahoma still teaching it. Northern Michigan University. And you guys are real proud of the fact that you get an accredited degree, aren't you? In order to get an accredited degree, you have to go to one of these schools that teaches this lie. I'm not impressed with your accredited degree. I'm sorry, okay? Kent State University. They ought to change the name of that one. So still using the same lie. Same lie. Early in development, human embryos briefly display brachial pouches similar to the gill slits of fish embryos. Rachel is still teaching it. She says I'm lying that no one is using the gill slits as evidence for evolution. Rachel, yes, they are. Gill slits on the embryo, Glycobiology, or no, McGraw-Hill biology, okay? There's embryology with evolution.blogspot. They're still using the fake drawings from 1869. Take a look in the books. They're right here. I Googled it today, found hundreds of references to the exact same chart that Haeckel made. They're still teaching it. Proven wrong in 1874. Come on, guys. Evidence for evolution, embryology, gill slits. They never breathe through the gills. Yeah, they're not gill slits. One guy said, Kent, you're a wretched liar, among other vile things. It's not claimed that those are gill slits. Demos? It's not? Let's see. Gill slits, gill slits, gill slits. Learn to read, son, okay? It is claimed that they are structures which resemble gills and form into gills in the animals which actually have them. It is never claimed that we have gills at any point in development. We have tails performed during our early development. No, we don't have a tail. It's the part of the spine grows first and then attachments grow to it. Let's see. Does this one teach the human has gill slits? Glycobiology? Is that what it says? Okay. The presence of gills and tails in the early stages of development. I see. Okay. Here's McGraw-Hill. Gill slits. Are they saying the human has gill slits? I didn't change the picture. I just photographed it. Okay. Took it off the internet. Embryology provides evidence of evolution. Example number 2. There's, let's see. I don't know if we get evidence of common ancestry. Student guide. I couldn't read the writing there. Here's Vice Rhino, some Canadian guy who claims he's an atheist or an evolutionist. He's still saying the human embryo has gill slits. Vice Rhino. He said, hello, I do response videos to pseudo-scientific nonsense. Okay, well then pick on the gill slits, Vice Rhino, instead of teaching it. Expose it. Come on, man. Man up. What's the matter with you Canadians? Evidence of evolution. Embryology. Embryos of fish, birds, reptiles, and mammals are all similar. They all have gill slits, which develop into gills in adult fish and ears and throat in mammals. Where's this one from? I forgot the reference for this one. Let's see. Turtles, chickens have gill slits. Let's see. I already showed that one. All right, let's see. It's been a busy day. Kent State University. Now, Answers in Genesis did an excellent article on their website, answersingenesis.org, about the so-called gill slits. I highly recommend you go there. Embryological evidence for evolution. Today. Gill slits. Downloaded today. It's still up there. There's hundreds of references to this, hundreds and hundreds of them. Guys, you are still teaching the baby has gill slits, and this is not true. It's proven wrong in 1875. Come on, Dave, take this out of your repertoire of evidence for evolution. That's why I say I'd like to debate all you evolutionists at once, one topic at a time. What are the 3 best evidences you have? Because one of the top 3 is always this one, embryology. You used it, Dave, in your speech. It's not true. Evolutionary news. Since the late 19th century, it's been known that some of Haeckel's drawings were highly inaccurate. They overstate the degree of similarity. They're even fraudulent. About time somebody caught up on that. Let's see. Nurse, I saw a preborn baby trying to get away from abortion instruments. I really did see an ultrasound-guided abortion that made me pro-life. Yeah, okay. Do human embryos have gills? Why or why not? No, they do not. Ben Wagner. I debated Ben Wagner. I'll debate you again, Ben, anytime, okay? Bring it on. That is what they see just at 32 days. The mother might not even know she's pregnant yet. It's already got incredible. Those folds of skin are developing into bones in the ear and glands in the throat. Humans never have gills, and our gills don't normally open up the way gill slits do, but we definitely do have the same basic structures, the pharyngeal arches that go on to form gills. Ben Wagner. Come on, Ben. Get some real evidence for your theory. Ben, formal challenge. I, Kent Hovind, with my non-accredited degrees, hereby challenge you to round 2, debating the topic of creation versus, and you too, Dave, please come on down. I'll come to your place, debate you live on this gill slit issue, because you're claiming embryology is evidence for evolution. Vertebrate embryos look very similar in early development, and in your mind, that is evidence for evolution. The Bible says, all liars shall have their part in the lake of fire, which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death. If you offend one of these little ones, which believe in me, you'd be better off hanged about, with a millstone hanged about your neck and drowned in the sea. Thou shalt not bear false witness, and thou shalt not kill. And evolution, this gill slit idea leads to the abortion being justifiable in their mind. Even Benjamin Spock said, each child as he develops is retracing the whole history of mankind, physically and spiritually, step by step. A baby starts off in the womb as a single tiny cell, just the way the first living thing appeared in the ocean. Weeks later, as he lies in the amniotic fluid, he has gills like a fish. Benjamin Spock, 1950s, or whenever this book was done, Benjamin, it was proven wrong 100 years before that. Science dictionary, it's not a science dictionary, it's a religion dictionary, pushing evolution. By, let's see, 5 to 6 week embryo, by 7 months it looks from the outside like a tiny baby, but it's not. It's not a baby, it's 7 months along. Excuse me? Lots of kids are born less than 7 months and survive, and they're definitely human babies. The angel of the Lord said, behold, thou art with fetus. No, I believe he said thou art with child. Yeah, it's a child. Scott Peterson was accused of murdering his wife and unborn child. Now, why did they call it a child? Well, California had a law that you had to have a double homicide to get the death penalty. So he killed the mother, which made the baby die. They said, well, we'll call it a child, so he killed 2 people. Now, hold it, California. Is it an embryo? Is it a fish? Is it actually a child before it's born? Now, think about it. Think about it. 34% of babies born at 5.5 months survive. Do you ever deliver any preemies at the hospital where you work? Or that's not your department?
No,
Yeah. You what?
I'm med-surg.
Med-surg, okay. Can a fetus live on its own? According to studies between 2003 and 2005, 20 to 35% of babies born at 24 weeks survive. 50 to 70% of those born at 25 weeks survive, and 90% from 26 to 27 weeks survive. Wow. There's a 21-week-old, less than 5-month-old baby, still in the womb, holding the doctor's finger. There's a 12-week human embryo. 12 weeks. Would anybody say that's not a human? Great book on evolution. So they keep this in the textbook. That's the only way to justify abortion. They want to reduce the population of the world. That's it. We're going to cover all that on video number 4. Let's, all right. Yeah, get video 4. Justify abortion. It's that stupid gill slit idea, Dave, that you're still teaching. That is not true. Get up here. I should have put a hyperlink in here. This is all part of the reduce the population campaign that they want. Okay, they want to kill off people that don't fit their plans for the New World Order. I cover all that on video number 4 of my series. And it's Hitler and Holocaust. It all ties together. And it's coming again, folks, like a freight train. Embryology. All right, back to Dave just for a second here, and then we'll quit and take some more next time. All right. Did I get it right? How do I do this thing? Right there.
Certain features like these can be present in fully formed animals as well.
Okay, he's going to go into vestigial structures. That would take another hour to prove wrong. Dave, please. Stick with good stuff that you're good at. You're really good at chemistry, physics, all that stuff. You are dead wrong. Actually, what you're teaching is wicked about embryo having gill slits as evidence for evolution. Dave, you're way behind on your science in this area, and it's wicked. It's wrong. It's evil what you're doing, and you're going to face God. I'm trying to wake you up, okay? I want to help you. You would make a great creation scientist if you'd wise up on a couple of things. How many would like to see Dave give his heart to the Lord and become a Christian and get in God's family? And come speak on our channel right here beside me. Dave, come on down. God loves you, but you're headed for trouble. You're teaching something, A, that's not true, and B, that's destroying the faith of others and keeping people from coming to the faith. What if somebody dies and goes to hell because of your teaching, Dave? I think that's going to look bad for you, Judgment Day. Isn't it? I mean, if somebody goes out and gets drunk and gets in a wreck and kills themselves, that's pretty bad. What if they get drunk and get in a wreck and hit a school bus and kill a busload of kids? Oh, now that's really bad, isn't it? Whole new level. That's what you're doing, Dave. That's what you're doing. All right, any questions or comments?
How do you get 6,000-year-old Earth from dates in the Bible?
Dates in the Bible to get a 6,000-year-old Earth. The Bible says Adam was 130 when Seth was born. Seth was 105 when his son was born. The dates are all given in Genesis 5 before the flood, and then in Genesis 11 after the flood. It takes us up to Joseph, when we know when he was leader in Egypt, and then so we have historical records from there. But the Bible dates will clearly come to approximately 4000 BC for the creation of the world. We know the Bible clearly says nothing died until Adam sinned. And the Bible clearly says Adam was the first man, and Eve is the mother of all living. Adam and Eve started the whole thing. So I cover all this on video number 1. It's my seminar series, The Age of the Earth, how to show scientifically and scripturally 2 different approaches that the earth cannot be billions of years old, titled The Age of the Earth. So I'd suggest you get that. It's probably 2 hours long, going as fast as I can. Okay? Other questions?
Once saved, always saved. Is that an accurate doctrine? And where do you get that biblically?
Once you're saved, you are always saved. God is stuck with you, and you are stuck with God. You cannot possibly lose your salvation. If you could lose it, everybody would lose it every day. Every day, many times a day. Have any of you ever gone all day without sinning? Who made it? I can't put my hand up. Okay. I made it for 7 hours one time, and then I woke up. But so you see, your salvation is not dependent on our behavior. It's dependent on what Jesus did. It goes right back to Cain and Abel in the Bible. Cain brought his fruit and vegetables. God, look what I did for you. God wouldn't take it. Abel brought a sacrifice, a lamb. Adam and Eve made clothes of fig leaves. God said, no, something has to die when you sin. He made them coats of skins, which means some animal died. Probably a sheep, I don't know. But in order for salvation to take place, it's based on what Jesus did. So how could you possibly lose it? Now, if a person gets saved, something will change in their heart where they want to try to not sin anymore. Not that they don't, they don't want to. And so no, if salvation could be lost, everybody would lose it every day. Mine's dependent on what Jesus did. And that doesn't make me think, wow, I got a license to sin. It makes you say, praise God, Lord, I want to serve you. Thank you for what you did for me. I want to please you. Okay? Other questions?
How does starlight not prove the age of the universe?
Well, starlight, I cover for a long time on video number 7, the question and answer time, which is actually 2 DVDs. It's 5 hours long. But I give a very long answer to that. We cannot measure the distance to the stars beyond a certain limit based on parallax trigonometry. The rest is just pure guesswork, and I cover that in great detail in video 7. But even if the stars were 10 billion light years away, okay, let's say they are, would that prove it took 10 billion years for the light to get here? No. How old was Adam the day he was made? 0. How old did he look? 67. Perfect age. So Adam was made fully formed, mature. He could walk, talk, name the animals, get married, already had a vocabulary, already had muscular coordination. I mean, he was created that way. So God could have created what we call a mature universe. He also could have, the Bible 17 times says God stretched out the heavens. He stretched out the stars. Just Google stretched out in a Google search. So if God made the earth first, and then he made the stars on day 4, and then stretched them out into place, they could be billions of light years away and still only be 6,000 years old. And the star leaving us, we would see the taillights of the star as it's going away. And they could be, the distance is a distance. It's not a time. I covered that long time, video number 7, okay? All right, any more? Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts about Mandelbrot sets and fractals and how that relates to how the universe operates according to mathematics?
Mandelbrot and fractals and there's all kinds of cool things when you get into that mathematics, the impossibility of that just happening, you know. We'll do a whole session on that sometime, okay? I don't have any slides ready for that, but people would need to see what is this, you know, fractals and Mandelbrot and all that stuff. I think it's evidence of a really smart designer, like the Fibonacci sequence. Mind-boggling. What? Google Fibonacci. Yeah. He's an Italian, Dave. Smart guy. You are too. You're a smart guy, but you're really off on this one on evolution. Get right. Yes, sir.
So they can't see how we have a redshift from every star leaving us.
All the stars are redshifted.
So
It almost looks like we're in the middle, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, you think? They're not going to get it. I'm sorry, they're not going to get it. Okay, tomorrow night I have a debate. It's on Standing for Truth channel. We'll do a brief intro here, a couple minutes till 7, and then we'll go over to that channel, Standing for Truth, if you want to watch the debate on Noah's Ark. All right, any questions, comments? Oh, you visitors, you got the tour today. You did not get the tour yet, but you're here for a week, right? Okay, well, help us get that building cleared out. We got to get the floor in there. It's endless, isn't it? Elias, how long you been here?
Not long enough, sir.
It never quits, does it?
As it should be.
As it should be. It just keeps going. Come on down, help us out. All right, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.